Screen is on. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in just one more minute. Let people find their way in. That rain, it's overwhelming. I get it. Do you all know the comedian John Mulaney? He's got this great bit of like congratulating people for getting out of the house. I feel like when you get out of the house on a rainy day, you like deserve like a special you got children out of the house when it was raining. Like that is an accomplishment that we do not want to not recognize. All right. Good morning, Boker Tov.
Good morning.
So we are here today to have a really special Jewish holiday called Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a little different than all of our other holidays. All of our other holidays are about lots of celebrating and being noisy and eating matzah and lighting candles and having challah. Today is a little bit more of a quiet day. Today is a little bit more of a snuggling day. It's a little bit more of an I love you day. It's a little bit more of a day where we get this really great gift. And this one really is for parents. Say it just to us for a minute. The gift of today for adults is that Judaism says to us that for whatever happened this year, whenever you weren't the person you wanted to be, the parent you wanted to be, the friend you wanted to be, that today's the day you get to tell yourself about it and admit it and seek forgiveness from those you hurt and then let it go. Then, by the time the sun goes down tonight, start afresh. And know that all those things that hurt you or hurt others, you get to let go and start again. So even as we tell stories and we do some play in a family service to make sure that we keep the kids with us, I want to invite you also to snuggle a little more, and to love a little more, and to take today as a gift of letting go what you need to let go of, even as you're parenting, to give yourself that moment. So now back to the kids. So Judaism has for us a special melody to remind us what holiday. Those rabbis were super smart, and they were like, everyone's going to forget what's going on. And so they created what's called nusach, which is a special melody to help us know what holiday we're at. So we're going to learn the nusach. My name is Michelle. For those of you who I haven't gotten to meet, I have had the pleasure of leading family services for a very long time, since mine were really little. And am just excited to be here with you. And I'm here with Hannah this morning, who's helping us lead music. And Hannah is going to teach us the special High Holiday Nusach.
Sure. So we're just going to begin with some yai lie lies. Yai lie. We're going to go in this key. Lie, 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 lie. Now you try.
Yai, lie, 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 lie.
Very good. And then we're going to go lie, 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 lie.
Lie, 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 lie.
Good. Lie, 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 lie. Your turn.
Lie, lie, yeah, la, 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 la.
Lie, 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 lie.
Yeah, lie, lie.
Good. Let's all try it together. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, la, 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 lie, 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 lie. This tune is going to pop up a bunch in this service.
All right. So before we really start praying together, one of the first things that we do here at Temple Shalom is to take a minute to get to know the people sitting around us. Why? Because you can always pray alone. But what makes a synagogue and a community is that we know each other. And we join together in that community and pray together. So I want to invite you to turn around. You may even need to stand up to get to the people you don't know who are closest to you. And just say hello, introduce yourself, what brought you to Temple Shalom today, introduce your kids, and take a minute to just meet each other.
Hello.
Feel free to stand up. Say hello to people you don't know. All right, and I want to welcome you as we make our way at the end of the service out of the sanctuary. Say hello again to the people around you. This is not meant to be a private experience. This is an experience that we join together as a community. That's why we've shown up here, right? Like, in order to be with other people and to share this Jewish experience together. So, the last thing before we jump in is a primer on your book. Your book is a magical book with actually two books inside of it. One side has a color image on the front, and the other has a gray, brownish, blackish, and white. You want to open your book to the side that has color on it. And when you open it, the pages should look something like this. If they do not, then you have opened the book wrong, and you need to take it, flip it upside down, and reopen it. There's nothing like a test in the beginning of services. So you want to open it to the side with the color, and then when you see the pages, they'll look like this. If you did that and the pages are upside down, that means that you turned too far in the book. All right. So I would like to invite you to join me on page 35, which should look like this. If your 35 does not look like that, you are in the book backwards. All right. On page 34, we're going to join where I'll read the print on the far left, and I invite you to read the indented print that's slightly italic. Yom Kippur is a special day. It's like a mirror. We look into it by praying and thinking about our lives. We see ourselves when we remember how we were last year. We see what we would like to be when we pray to be better in the new year. We look into our Yom Kippur mirror today and we see that we are strong. On Yom Kippur, we see that we are strong enough to heal hurts in ourselves and in others together. We see that when we hurt others, we also hurt ourselves. We hurt ourselves and others when we say unkind words.
We hurt ourselves and others when we do not share.
We hurt ourselves and others when we do not listen to our parents and our teachers.
We pray to be people who heal ourselves and others. We praise you, Adonai, for showing us the love and goodness in their hearts.
I'd like to invite you to rise for Baruch Hu, our first prayer where we call to worship and say, are we ready to pray? Are we awake? Are we here? Are we ready to do this? And listen, because you're going to hear that melody again.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
And we join together in the English on the bottom of page 35. Praised are you, Adonai, who made light and sun so we can work and play. We thank you for the Torah, which is also a light for us. We turn now on the bottom of page 36 to the Shema. So the Shema is our central prayer in Judaism. It says, I'm part of this people. I'm part of this people and I'm part of this God. And some people, when they do the Shema, like to cover their eyes just like this and put one finger on their forehead so that they can think of God being one and connecting us all. And other people, when they do the Shema, like to keep their eyes open and look at all the people, and we can see the trees from the sanctuary. It's a pretty great sanctuary. And the world around us, and look and enjoy all of that and think about it's all connected. So I want to invite you to either close your eyes and put one finger on your forehead to think about that oneness within us, or to keep your eyes open and to look at the world around us while Chana leads us in Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. And we join together on Via Hafta, which you can find on your song sheet. Maybe, Hannah, do you want to teach us the chorus first?
Sure. Everyone say love.
Love
Adonai your God.
Adonai your God.
And we're going to say love Adonai our God 4 times. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. With all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. With all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Join me together. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai
Oh, it is that time. Ah, I love this story. All right. So, the ancient Israelites were slaves in Egypt, and it was a really hard life, and it was really terrible. And finally, they get to go free, and they're so excited, and they're running to freedom, and all of a sudden, they see a giant sea in front of them called the Sea of Reeds. Sometimes we call it the Red Sea. And they see this huge sea, and they're like, what do we do? And all of a sudden, Moses lifts his staff into the air, and God opens the waters. They open the water, and they look behind them, and the Egyptians are chasing them. And they're like, oh my goodness, we gotta run. And they start going into the water. And what they realize is this incredible thing was happening. They were about to go into freedom by running through where these waters were, and they had parted. And when they looked at the walls of water on either side of them, it was incredible. What kind of things do you think they saw on the walls of water? What would you see living in the water? Yeah. Fish. Beautiful fish. Shimmery and golden. The most gorgeous fish they had ever seen. What else do you think they'd see? Oh my gosh. Giant octopus. Huge, amazing octopus with its tentacles moving in the water. What else would they see in that water? Yeah. Jellyfish. Oh, beautiful jellyfish with their domes and coming down. So beautiful. Whoops. Yeah, tell me one more. What did they see in the water? Coral. Oh my gosh. Brilliant oranges and reds. The coral was gorgeous. Last one. Sharks. Huge sharks with glimmering white teeth and their big tails going back and forth. And all the people, all the Israelites were awestruck. They were like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Everyone except for Reuven and Shimon. Because when everyone else was looking up, Reuven and Shimon were looking down. And they were like, oh my God, look at this mud. Look at this muck. It's stinky. It's between my toes. This is terrible. And so everyone else continued to walk, and Reuven and Shimon continued to complain and stomp through the mud. And then what the people realized is as the sun rose, it hit the water at the perfect angle that it made rainbows. And the water suddenly was filled with rainbows. And it was so gorgeous. And the spray of the water was crystalline light. And everybody was awestruck. Everyone thought it was so amazing. Everyone except Reuven and Shimon. Because when everyone else was looking up, Reuven and Shimon were looking down. Do you want to try it with me? Really mucky mud. It's, ooh, look at the mud, look at the muck. You ready? Like really grossed out. Like you can feel it between your toes, and it's like, try it with me. Oh, look at the mud. Look at the muck. It was so awful. And so they finally made it through the Sea of Reeds. And when they got to the other side, Miriam lifted her timbrel, and all the people joined with her in song, and they were singing, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like you, God, doing this amazing, awesome stuff, everybody except for Reuven and Shimon. Because while everybody else was looking, Reuven and Shimon were looking, and they were still trying to get that mud out from between their toes. But eventually, I like to think that Reuven and Shimon had a moment where they realized that something incredible happened, and maybe, just maybe, they'd missed it. And so even though they didn't fully understand, they joined hands with their community, and they joined in song, and they gave themselves another chance, because every time in our lives, if we're looking down, we can always, at any moment, choose to look up and see the miracles around us. And Hannah now is going to lead us in the very song they sang. This song comes right out of the Torah. This prayer comes out of the Torah. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like you, Adonai, at the moment after our people crossed through the Reed Sea.
Mm-hmm. And the song is going to sound very familiar. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. yesh Nora Tehilot Osei Feleh.
All right. So, we are going to take a moment now for silent prayer, which is a funny thing to say in a room with lots of small people. We're going to, for silent-ish prayer, for not as loud prayer. And I want to invite you to take this moment as a family moment, to snuggle as a family and to talk to your people and to think about the things this year that you want to say you're sorry for. Maybe as a family member you weren't doing exactly what you wish you had done, and this is a moment to snuggle and to be together for just a moment before we move on with the prayer so that you're able to start letting go of this as well. Adonai, our God, we have begun to heal ourselves by saying we are sorry. Help us to not do the same wrongs again. When people tell us they're sorry for hurting us, may we forgive them. And we invite to their bima the Rabbi Abraham and Cantor Charline, who will be leading us in part of the worship service. And then I'll be coming back to tell one more story. Just want the mic.
Shana Tova, everybody. You're all asleep. It's not an exciting story, I guess, right? All that mud and muck, they stayed asleep. Shana Tova!
Shana Tova.
So I saw you just had your snuggle time with your family. So it's important. We have a couple of things to do. One thing that we do is we put together a prayer that we do only on these high holy days, only on Yom Kippur. And this prayer is a prayer where we say we're sorry. And it's called, anybody remember what it's called? Shofar? No, you're thinking ahead, but that's good. Yes. What's that? I gotta come all the way back here. What? What'd you say? Yom Kippur is the holiday. That's good. But the prayer is called Al Chet. Everybody say that. Al Chet. That means for the thing I did wrong. So what we're going to do, just like we did last week, is we're going to build that prayer ourselves. So I want you to think about something that you may have done wrong in the last year, that you want to say you're sorry for, and then raise your hand and you'll say, Al Chet, for hitting my sibling. Got that one. You all can think of that one now, but you got to think of something else now. So think of something you might have done wrong in the last year. Some people over there don't want to admit it. And then Al Chet and raise your hand, something you want to say you're sorry for. I know it's tough. Yes. What are you sorry for? You got a long one.
What are you sorry for? I'm not
You're
sure.
thinking.
Not think.
I don't believe. I know I've done something wrong. Some things wrong this year. Sometimes I don't listen to people. Sometimes I yell. What else? Are we going over here? Yes. Say Al Chet. What's it? Say Al Chet.
I'll hate
For what?
not listening.
Not listening. That's a good one. Who's got one? I'm not going to let you off the hook here, right? That's the whole point of Yom Kippur. You're supposed to sit here in services for the entire day, not eating when you're older until you think of all the stuff that you've done wrong. So, we got one back here? Yes. What you got? Say it.
Listening in bed. For not listening in bed.
For wrestling in bed or not? Oh, for not listening. We're all hate for not listening when it's time to go to bed. That's an important one. Everybody else, all right. All right, we'll go back there in a sec. Yes.
I'll hate ignoring somebody.
All hate for ignoring somebody. Good. That can make people feel bad. Yeah, what do we got over here?
Not getting up in time.
All hate not getting up in time, but you're here now. So if it was today, you made it eventually. Anybody else? I want you to look deep. If you've brought a parent or guardian with you, I want you to look deep into their eyes right now. And I want you to think about what you need to say you're sorry for. One last one over here. Yes. Go ahead, all hate.
For not listening.
For not listening. Well, a lot of not listening. So I'm glad. It's really nice that nobody's hit anybody this year. And nobody said any mean things to anybody and any of that kind of stuff. But if we turn in our prayer books to page 43, we're going to sing this part that comes at the end where we say to God, for all these things that we've done, please forgive us and pardon us. Bottom of page 43. All right, is everybody ready for us to bring the Torah out? Are some of us ready to bring the Torah out? Jack is ready for us to bring the Torah out. So yes, we're going to bring the Torah out. So before we do that, we're going to do that prayer we did last week, the Avinu Malkeinu. Remember where we call God by special names on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We call God Avinu, like a parent who's really close to us and takes care of us. And we call God like Malkeinu, like a ruler who's far away and is powerful and can do big things. And we said last year, we hope for a new year, we hope for a sweet new year, we hope for nobody to be sick, we hope for everybody to have food. I think somebody hoped for chocolate. So let's rise for Avinu Malkeinu. We're going to open the ark, and then we'll take the Torah out. Page 46.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu va'anenu,
All right, who wants to see the Torah? Come on up. Come on up. But Rabbi, it's scary. There's a big guy in a dress up there. Come on. Come on, you can come up and see the Torah. There's the Torah scroll. We're going to read from it right here. Let me move this here so we can see more of it. Come on up. You can get closer.
More room over here.
I'm not scared. I mean, there's a lot of you. And you could probably throw me off the beam if you wanted to. But you'd have to coordinate, so probably not. Okay, so we have this special Torah portion that we read on Yom Kippur morning. And wait till I get to this part, because you're going to be so surprised by what the Torah portion says to all of you at this very moment right now. But before we read it, we have a blessing. Parents, if you'd help out on page 48 in your books.
Baruchu et Adonai hamvorach altogether. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Adonai Elohechem, roshechem, shivtechem, ziknechem, v'shotrechem, kol ish Yisrael. Tapchem, nashechem, v'geracha asher b'kerev mechanecha, mechotev eitzecha ad shoev mimecha. It says, today you are all standing here. The Torah says that. It says, today you're all standing here before Adonai your God. The heads of your tribes and the elders and the chieftains and everybody of the people of Israel, from the children and all of the members of your families, and even the stranger which is in the middle of your camp, from the person who cuts the wood to the person who brings the water. La'avarcha bivrit Adonai Elohecha uva'alta asher Adonai Elohecha karet imach hayom. To enter into a covenant into with God. So how did you guys know, how do you think the Torah knew that you guys would be standing here today?
Because it's Rosh Hashanah.
What's Yom Kippur? But yes, I think that's kind of the answer. The Torah knew that we would have this day. Moses is talking to the people, and Moses says, you're going to stand here, everybody, and we're going to talk to God, and we're going to get agreement with God, that we're going to be in a covenant. We're going to be in a relationship with God. But this covenant isn't just with the people there that day. It's to go forward every year. So when you guys stand here, I'll tell you, there's a midrash, there's a story that says everybody who ever was and ever will be Jewish was standing at Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. So look around next to you. You see everybody standing around you? Do they, even if you don't recognize them, maybe you met them a long time ago when you were standing at Mount Sinai. So it's important we stand up for important things, right? We stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. We stand up right now to enter into this covenant, which we're at forever. So there you go. The Torah is speaking to us today. It's not just written for all those people thousands of years ago. Okay? Okay. Let's all head back to our seats and we'll put the Torah back in the ark.
So the blessing is on page 39. We'll do that together. Blessing after reading the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
All right, let's dress the Torah and put it back in the ark.
It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters
Please be seated. So, in addition to the Torah portion for Yom Kippur, we also have what's called the Haftorah portion, which does not mean half Torah. It actually comes from the book of prophets. And this story that we tell on Yom Kippur is the story of a very, very important guy. And this guy's name was Jonah. Now, Jonah was your basic everyday guy. He was just hanging out, doing what Jonah did, like playing with his friends, talking to his family, having some good meals. Overall, just a very happy Jonah. And one day, God calls to Jonah. And God says, Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh. There's this place called Nineveh, and the people in Nineveh, they are not being nice. Like, you know, when the rabbi was trying to get us to think of all the things we've done wrong so that we can talk about them and say we're sorry, think of the very worst things you can think of. The very, very worst things, that's what the people of Nineveh were doing. They were doing really bad stuff. And God said, Jonah, I want you to get on a boat, and I want you to travel to Nineveh. And in Nineveh, you're going to say to those people, hey, y'all aren't doing good. God knows it. You need to start saying, I'm sorry. And what did Jonah say? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, Jonah was like, I'm not into this. Jonah was like, I'm having fun with my family. I'm doing like my thing. I'm playing with my friends. And Jonah says, no, 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 I do not want to go. Can everybody try that? I know saying no when you're asked to do something is something you've probably never done. I totally get it. It's very new to you. But let's give it a try. Well, that's why I'm getting static, because I'm dragging it. Jonah said, no, 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 I do not want to go. You ready? You can stomp your feet, too, if you want to stand up and go for it. 1, 2, 3. No, 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 I do not want to go. And so, Jonah got a brilliant idea. Jonah got on a boat. Nineveh was over here. Jonah was supposed to go that way. Jonah got on a boat that went that way, the exact opposite way. Jonah was like, I'm not going anywhere near Nineveh. I'm going to go the other way. And God calls out to Jonah and says, Jonah, I asked you to go to Nineveh, and you're going the wrong direction. And Jonah says to God, you ready? You want to stomp your feet? Because this is really, Jonah's holding his ground here. You ready? No, no, no. I do not want to go. And all of a sudden on that boat, there was a huge storm. Not like a storm like we've had the last 2 days, but a storm like you have never seen before. So much torrential rain is falling, and there's thunder and lightning and wind, and it's really crazy. And the sailors on the boat, they start to get really worried. They're like, I don't know, this doesn't feel good. And Jonah says to God, are you trying to get my attention, God? And God says, yes, Jonah, you're supposed to be going to Nineveh, and you're not, and I need your help. Because when people are doing bad things, part of what we're supposed to do is to help them stop. That's what we do, and I need your help to do that. And Jonah thinks about it for a minute. He's like, should I do it? Should I do it? Do you think he does it? No. Jonah says back to God, you ready? No, 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 I do not want to go. And then Jonah turns to the sailors and he's like, look, I'm just going to jump in the water. We'll be good here. This is not something we ever advise doing. Don't do this. Do not, if there's a storm outside or you're on a boat, do not jump in. But Jonah did. And Jonah jumped in the waters, and as soon as he jumped in, the waters went quiet. And Jonah was like, cool, I'm going to keep swimming in the wrong direction. And then this story gets even crazier. A giant whale comes up and swallows Jonah. I know! Rabbi, I feel the same way. Who wrote this stuff? So this giant whale comes and swallows Jonah. And even in the whale's belly, even sitting there in the whale's belly, God says to Jonah, Jonah, are you ready? I really need your help. I really need you to go help these people of Nineveh. They're doing bad things. I believe in you. You are the prophet I need today. Will you go jump in? Will you do it? Would you do it? How many people would go to Nineveh at this point? Would you go to Nineveh? Would you go and tell the people and tell their teachers that they need to behave better and help them? Some of you would. Jonah didn't. Jonah thought for a minute. He thought again. And then he called back to God. You ready? No, no, no. I do not want to go. The first day goes. Nope. Jonah doesn't budge. The sun rises on the second day. Jonah doesn't even know it because he's in a belly of a whale. And God says again, Jonah, will you go? I need your help. When people aren't being nice to each other, it's on all of us. We are all responsible. You can go to Nineveh and you can make this better. And what does Jonah say? No. And Jonah says, no, no, no. I do not want to go. But on that third day, Jonah was like, I don't know, maybe I can help. You know, it's hard and scary to be the one to say to people, look, you're not being nice to someone. It's hard to be an upstander. It's hard to be the person who says to someone, look, I know you can do better. Can you please stop being mean to that person? Can you please stop teasing them? Can you please let them sit with you? Can you please be kind? Can you please share with them? That's not easy to do. But on that third day, Jonah was like, okay, I'll do it for you, God. I'll go talk to them. And here's the crazy thing. You ready? That whale spits out Jonah, and do you know where he was? Nineveh. That whale took Jonah right to Nineveh. And Jonah gets out, and he says to the people, he says all the things. He says, you need to start sharing. What kind of things do you think Jonah would have said? What do you think maybe they were doing that Jonah needed to talk to them about? What were they doing? Let's see if I can get way over here. From the other side, hold on. What kind of things? I'm going to catch one here and then I'm going to come right back to you. What do you think Jonah had to tell them?
You need martial law.
You need martial law. You need to figure out at least some good laws for how we're going to help each other and how we're going to treat each other. What do you think Jonah said?
You have to listen directions.
You've got to start listening to directions. You need to listen when someone's telling you what you should be doing. Okay, you're totally good. You need to sometimes follow your big brothers because sometimes they're doing the right thing. And you just need to do it too. Let's go over here. What do you think Jonah had to say to them?
Stop fighting.
Stop fighting. You need to be kinder to each other, yeah? How about over here? What do you think?
You need to share tables.
You need to share tables. Yeah, you need to share things with each other. Yeah?
You gotta share your toys.
You need to share your toys. You know, when you're at school, at preschool, or at babysitters, and there's all these toys, you need to share them with each other. I'm going to scoot in front of you here. Thank you. What do you think Jonah said?
Don't hurt each other's feelings.
Don't hurt each other's feelings. Be really careful with your words to make sure that you're kind to each other. Do you have one for me?
Share your toys.
Share your toys. Yeah. So Jonah said all those things. I'm going to catch one more in the back. I'm so sorry. Thank you. One more right here. What do you think Jonah said?
To share a ball.
Share a ball. Yeah. You know, it's fun to kick a ball by yourself, but it's much more fun to kick a ball with someone else. And Jonah said all the things that you just said. And do you know what? Do you know what happened? All the people were like, "Oi, Jonah's right. We've been doing all these things and we can do better. We can do better." And our story tells us, our book of prophets, that God forgave everyone because they asked for forgiveness from each other and they started to be kinder. And Jonah, next time God asked for some help, Jonah did not say, no, 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 I do not want to go. In fact, Jonah learned that Jonah could help make the world better by helping other people be nice too. And Hannah is going to lead us in our closing song, which is going to haunt you for the entire year. There's something about this melody, it's like a repentance melody. Once you hear it, you're just going to have it stuck in your head for hours. Hours.
Right.
And as Hannah gets ready and sets up her sound there, I want to thank you all for coming and getting out of your house on a rainy morning to come and be with this community. And I also want to invite you, before you walk out, to make sure that you walk up and introduce yourself to someone who you don't know in the room, so that we can start to get to know each other. We also have Pray and Play once a month for young families to come and join us. Religious school if you are looking for some Jewish education. We are excited to have your family join us. And I also want to say that if you are newer to our community and you would like to check out the quote-unquote adult services, they are not adult services. All services at Temple Shalom welcome children to be a part of our community. So if you would like to stay and do that, then you can check in with Linda in the lobby, and she can help you so that you're able to stay and enjoy the services and be a part of that. Hannah is going to sing for us, and then I think maybe this rabbi is going to blow the shofar, and maybe the temple president's going to say hello.
All right, everyone, say Jonah, Jonah. Living in the whale. Tried to run away from God. That was bound to fail. So it's a very repetitive chorus, and it sounds like this. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. God said to Jonah, take a trip to Nineveh and tell the wicked people there they have to change their ways. But Jonah wasn't ready for such responsibility. He got on board a ship and tried to run away. Try it with me. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. A storm began to blow. The sailors, they were terrified. Jonah said, I'm sorry, it's all because of me. I made God very angry, and now we're in hot water, and the only way to stop it is to throw me in the sea. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. A giant fish was waiting and swallowed Mr. Jonah. He cried aloud to God for 3 whole days and nights. Then the whale spat him up and Jonah went to Nineveh. He told the Ninevians, you better do what's right. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. That was not me from God, that was bound to fail. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. The people all repented, but Jonah wasn't satisfied. He said to God, you shouldn't have forgiven everyone. Then God taught him a lesson that each of us should follow by looking at ourselves and the deeds that we have done. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail. Jonah, Jonah, living in the whale. Tried to run away from God, that was bound to fail.
Rabbi, are you going to blow the shofar, or is Bill going to speak?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. To our members and to friends who are joining us from the community, maybe for the first time. Am I not loud enough? Okay, sorry, I guess I'm not loud enough. Well, again, good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming out. Weather isn't great, so it's great to see so many of you here in person. Whether you're one of our members or joining us for the first time, it is great to have you and your families here as we celebrate the high holidays. If you are interested in learning more about all the great activities we do at Temple Shalom and different things we have, feel free to talk to me out in the lobby. We also have Stephanie Ramos Greenberg, one of our co-chairs of our Board of Education outside, and we'd be happy to talk to you about the religious school here at Temple Shalom. Again, Lashana Tova, and wish everyone a good day.
So, what do I have here? A shofar, thank you. There's so many things. This right here, the shofar. And we blow the shofar not just during Rosh Hashanah services like we did last week, but we blow it at the end of Yom Kippur when the sun sets. So I'll see you all back here tonight when the sun sets, and I'll blow the shofar then. Okay? Is that okay with everybody?
I think that's after bedtime, Rabbi.
It's okay with the Dankins. All right, I'll tell you what. If you promise not to let everybody know I did this beforehand a little early, I'll blow the shofar for you now. What do you say? All right. We brought the cantor up to help.
So there are different shofar blasts. There's the long one. Anyone remember what that's called? The sort of regular long one. Tekiah. And then when we do it 3, it's shivarim. And when we do like 9 little ones, it's teruah. And all of those are nice. But you know the one that we all get really excited for, right? The Tekiah Gedola. So that's the one we're going to do. Well, Rabbi's going to do it, right? We'll let him know. So we're all going to say, Tekiah Gedola. Okay, and then he'll... and then he'll know to, right? Let's do it. Ready? Tekiah Gedola.